Yeah, this is Konganaya outside of Demico, the western pavement of Demico. And they are, of course, performing some cultural shoots Saturday morning. This is Konganaya outside of Demico, the western pavement of Demico, and the Thursdays. Can you hear me? Good morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. Welcome to another program of Buxtonian Morning Time. Yes, I know I am late. You don't need to remind me. I'm sorry for being late, but I'm having some technical difficulties right now. Yes, technical difficulties. I don't know where they're coming from, but I'm trying to work through them right now. As I speak with you right now, I'm not getting camera. But we're going to get this thing sorted out. Don't worry yourself. We're going to get it sorted. I know we're going to get it sorted. Where's my camera? I don't know. I do not know where my camera is. I'm not getting my camera, folks. So y'all can't see my handsome face this morning. You know? But fret not. We are going to get all of these rectified just now. Stay with me, work with me. Morning, neighbor, morning. In the meantime, you can enjoy some good old Guyanese music. Give me a minute and I'll get there with you. I don't know what's wrong. Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong.
Look down from your window, no big city lights, just greenery. I don't know what you come for. Loosen up, my dear, we're such a man free. Welcome to the land of many faces, not one, not two, but 6 different races. You know when the sun kisses your skin, you're in the right place. G-U-I-A-N-N, oh, that's my beautiful country. G-U-I-A-N-N, one people, one nation, one destiny. Don't stop for a minute. Come, let me take a walk with Brother Tiki. You'll see our landmarks and our monuments. They're so unique. The hybrid structure in a lighthouse, the tallest wooden structure, cathedral, 176th Street monuments, and a beautiful city hall. You know, with the wind in your hair, you're in the right place. G-U-I-A-N-N, oh, that's my beautiful country. G-U-I-A-N-N, one people, one nation, one destiny. we're such a man free. Welcome to the land of many faces. Not one, not two, but 6 different races. You know when the sun kisses your skin, you're in the right place. Guiana. Oh, that's my beautiful country. Guiana. One people, one nation, one destiny.
Yes, that was Poonam Singh for you doing Guyana, Gyana. Yes, I'm having some technical difficulties this morning. I do hope you can bear with me. Some of it I created on my own. Some of it I don't know what happened. I was just able to rectify the camera. The other part is I'm not using my regular microphone. Why? Because I've been careless. Oh Lord. I removed the microphone from the studio yesterday. It's left in the car, and my son is running an errand for me in the car. The replacement microphone is not functioning the way I would like it to. And as I'm speaking, I'm looking all around because I'm thinking there are other microphones that I can use. But the thing is that they will take some time to set up. And I'm late already. I hate being late, and I hate being in this kind of situation. Tell me if you can hear me clearly enough, and so we can get on with the program. Just give me an indication that you can hear me clearly enough, and we can get on with the program. I don't know. Sometimes these things happen. But they do happen, and once they happen, you just got to live it. So are we good? Can we go like we are? Good. Loud and clear. That's what I'm told by Mrs. Jones. Good morning, Mrs. Jones. Thank you. Somebody is saying low. See if you can turn up your device volume, please. I can't shout too much, otherwise I will lose my voice in the middle of the program, and therefore we're not going to get anything happening. So that's what I can tell you this morning. But if let's go to our usual morning, neighbor, morning, and then we'll get into the program properly. Because that's our anthem. Morning, neighbor. Morning. Ratings, Mrs. Jones. Where are you people? I saw Mrs. Jones, but I don't know where this girl Ratings is. She has been truant these days. She's been missing a lot of classes,
joke and I even morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. You go keep your can I even morning. Joke it.
Well, them say when you don't get mama suck granny. So right now we have a suck granny. Right? You know the meaning of that saying? When I get mama suck granny. What it says is when you don't have one thing, the original thing, the main thing, the important thing, substitute. Right? So this morning we got suck granny. Hopefully, I know y'all see me, I don't like it this way. Y'all see me looking around still, yes. Hopefully, granny gonna be good enough for this morning, at least for a little while, until my vehicle comes back. But here we are. Here we are. It's Thursday morning, so we are going to have Minister of Finance Winston Jordan in the house. And he's going to be talking to us about the thing as usual. Lots of things we got to talk about. But let me remind you as a background, well, not as a background because I'm not sure Minister Jordan would go there. The thing usually is, I say the man is a consummate professional. He doesn't get mixed up in things that are too political or too controversial. So I don't know if I'm going to get him to address any of this morning, but let me start by telling you or reminding you that in earlier programs, I had indicated that the security contract or a number of security contracts were taken away from contractors who had them under the APNU AFC government. And those contracts found themselves in the hands of different persons. Among the persons the contracts found themselves in, whose hands the contract found themselves in, certainly was this guy Arafat. He is the owner of Queensway Security Service, I think it's called Queensway. The racist Ethnic Relations Commissioner, Roshan Khan, his company also got some of those contracts. Lots of persons have been placed on the breadline as a result of that. But there are more revelations from a letter which I came across this morning. And I would share the contents of that letter with you so that you can draw the nexus. And the nexus I'm tempted to draw is one which I've been establishing all along, that a lot of these security companies are nothing but front organizations for the PPP's intent to arm its supporters. And so this letter writer is pointing out a situation where these so-called security services are being first and foremost given preference over other services, and not only for security but lots of other things. We also had the issue of the so-called regional security assistance apparatus, which the government, the illegitimate government, went to Parliament for and got millions of Guyanese dollars, taxpayers' money, to fund without going through the necessary procedures like having it gazetted and so on. And so many of us who are of the opinion that the establishment of this regional security apparatus, which falls somewhere in the Guyana Defense Force, is illegal. And we see it as just a normalizing, a legitimizing of the phantom forces, bringing all of them together and placing them under command of somebody in the Guyana Defense Force and calling it a regional security assistance apparatus. Listen to this letter, and you can agree with me or you can disagree that there's a nexus between the security contracts which I mentioned, the fly-by-night security services, and the regional security apparatus, which I see as legitimizing the phantom. The letter is titled, "Has the Muslims Hijacked Guyana?" Has the Muslims hijacked Guyana? Billions of dollars in contracts quietly, illegally awarded to Muslim businessmen. Billions of Guyana dollars in contracts quietly, illegally awarded to Muslim businessmen. Dear editor, Guyana will never forget the year 2020. We plunged headlong. I'm sorry. I did indicate that we are having some microphone issues. Some people say it's good, we can go ahead. Others are complaining that it's low. If it's low and you can't hear me, I might as well not do the program. If you can hear me, maybe you can try turning up your device, the volume of your devices. Because if every time I'm in the middle of a sentence I see something say, "I can't hear you," then I will simply have to not do the program this morning or do it later, because I'm going to be distracted dealing with "I can't hear you." So let's take what? 10 minutes and see if I can rectify the sound issue. Give me 10. I might be back earlier than 10. Is that fair? Is it a fair proposition? Give me 10. Y'all say something. Take 10. Is that what you're saying? Good. So I'll take 10. I'll give you some music and I'll return in 10 or maybe before 10. Yes, good morning.
Stop the music. It burns inside. Oh, love is the thing. It burns inside. If you should ever let it pass you by. Oh, love is the cherry and to hold. Hold down to love, my friends, and never, never let it go. Oh, love is to be within your heart, and never, 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 baby, ever let it part. For rain may never ever pass away again. Oh, hold down to love, my friends, and never, never let. I'm gonna talk to you now. Oh, love is a thing.
Check 1, 2.
If you and everybody out there should ever let it pass you by.
Can you hear me now? Am I clear enough? I trust so. I really trust that I'm clear enough. Let me see. Are we there yet? Are we? Are we there? Yes, are we there now? Can you hear me? Hello? Good. I hope this is much better. All right, let's get on with the show. Good. Good. This is better, right? Good. All right. I know this should be better. Good. So I did find Granny. All right. So, as I said, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. These things happen. Them say when you gonna get Mama saw Granny, so me find Granny. And me work with Granny right now. So I was saying that I'm convinced that there's a nexus between the security contracts which were taken away from contractors who had them under the APNU AFC and given to those fly-by-night security companies like Queensway Security Roshan Khan definitely got his portion of those security contracts. I am saying that there's a nexus between security contracts and the regional security apparatus, which is somewhere in the Ghana Defense Force, for which the illegitimate government went to parliament and got billions of Guyanese taxpayers' dollars without illegally, because the establishment of the agency did not conform to the provisions of the law. And there's a nexus between that and the intention of the PPP to arm its people. And so there's a letter which came to my attention, which I think backs up my beliefs. The letter is titled, "Has the Muslims Hijacked Guyana? Billions of dollars in contracts quietly, illegally awarded to Muslim businessmen." Dear editor, Ghana will never forget the year 2020. We plunged headlong into a pandemic, the collateral damage of which the world could have never envisaged and be prepared for. We have a new norm now, one which had adjusted us, the way we live and how we do business. The irony is that China, accused of being the origins of the virus, became richer for it. Then we faced the brutality of elections 2020. Seems as though this microphone is acting up too. Can you hear me? Damn, man, I don't know what's happening. Then we faced the brutality of elections 2020, which laid bare the evil of the now opposition. There cannot be any other description of the wickedness that played out from the no confidence motion to August 2nd, 2020, when Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali was sworn in as president of this country. The now opposition has criminally done its supporters and by extension the country a disservice. A disservice. The little credibility that remained has been smashed to smithereens. Ghana would badly want its opposition to, at the very least, play a parliamentary role to protect our oil and herald through the sacred halls of the chambers new laws that would guide this country into the new era. The opposition has a critical oversight responsibility in examining our spending and the red flags raised by the state auditors. One would have thought that Irfan Ali would have taken a year to settle himself in, learning the ropes before we see the kind of leader we want. It is a natural curve in the learning phase. He has a tough task in shepherding Guyana through the pandemic and managing the oil wealth. Mr. Editor, herein lies the whole point of this warning. I call it that because it appears, and I want to give the president the doubt, that deep-seated cronyism, lack of transparency, and corruption have entered into a big way into this administration. As a rabid supporter whose family have taken up placards and whose family members have graduated our university, many of them who live abroad now, we have hopes for this country. Mr. Editor, in recent months, there has been growing stories of backroom meetings where certain religious sections have been benefiting significantly from deals, where illegal unilateral awards for contracts have been made to the tune of billions. It is criminal and unfair to the rest of the ruling party supporters and all Guyana when we can quietly parcel off billions of dollars, then run to bilateral lending agencies to borrow to appease our people. For example, Mohammed Arafat Kalanda, a known city businessman who has been photographed rubbing shoulders with former President Bharat Jagdeo, also General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic, has received hundreds of millions for providing security for the $19,000 education cash grant that was launched a few days ago in Essequibo. There is no evidence it was advertised. Hundreds of millions of dollars. He also reportedly received hundreds of millions of dollars worth in security contracts for East Berbice. As an importer for arms and ammunition, he has received hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts for new weapons. He was a financier for the People's Progressive Party Civic. Mr. Editor, he is not the only Mohammed to benefit. Hakim Mohammed. There are indications that orders were placed for hundreds of millions of dollars for weapons and ammunition for the security force. Mohammed, like Kalanda, is a weapons dealer in the city. Does Ghana want to hear more about the other Mohammeds and how a few Muslims of seemingly out of nowhere received billions of dollars in contracts without the proper procurement procedures being followed? My son is at the door. I need to let him in. Give me a minute. Well, there's Nazar Shell Mohammed. Give me a minute. This is crazy morning. Go ahead. Yes, there is Nazar Shell Mohammed. No stranger to Guyana. Shell has been a known supporter of the PPP Civic, pouring hundreds of millions of dollars in campaign funding. It is payback time. He has benefited from several acres of riverfront property at Vredenhoop, West Demerara, where a shore-based facility to cater for the oil industry is to be built. While serving the gold industry as a trader, Mohammed's trading, not being big on mining in itself, rather, he focused on purchasing. In fact, Ghana would be surprised to learn that the company has now entered into the road building business and has been awarded millions of dollars to maintain parts of the hinterland Linden Lethem roads, the same area that will lead to lands that he has been awarded to build a quarry. That same quarry area in which he is accused of applying for and receiving approval in a jiffy time. That approval has been challenged by BK International, a contractor who said he applied a number of years ago for the land. Yes, you got it right. Shell Mohammed is being given a contract to maintain roads that will benefit a business he is now building. In essence, government is paying tax dollars for roads that is benefiting Shell Mohammed and his family the most. There's no evidence here that procurement procedures were followed. Shell Mohammed and his son Azruddin have been big players, lending luxury vehicles for security to the now President Ali during the elections fiasco of last year. It would not be hard to think it is payback time. They have also been receiving large plots of lands in emerging industrial estates and commercial land development areas for projects that are in the pipeline. We turn our attention to Berbice now. Nazruddin Mohammed is of the jumbo jet fame, well known for his business of dealing in trucks and heavy equipment. Hundreds of millions of dollars here for security contracts in Region 2 for his son, Nazruddin Mohammed Jr. With no past experience, this businessman and his family has been questionably awarded contracts to build prison facilities. The Ministry of Local Government under Minister Nigel Dharamlal should have known that another sets of contracts were improperly awarded. Another city businessman, Shamim Mohammed, has been allocated large swaths of land. Mr. Editor, these are not rumors. These are facts. It is there for everyone to see. Can one make a conclusion that the president has unwittingly been drawn in by a number of businessmen? Or is it that Guyana is being parceled off to a few who have, because of religion, have been identified with President Ali? There's much more than Guyana. There's much more that Guyana will be shocked to learn about. Nobody wants to hurt a government which has now entered office. We want them to do well so all can benefit. When a few benefit, maybe from insiders' knowledge and help from our leaders who at first glance appear to be partisan, then it can be fair to say we are heading down a dangerous path. One which Ali can be accused of being dictatorial and acting illegally so early in his presidency is sending worrying signals. It is too early for these criminal acts to happen. President Ali must address these awards personally and say why his cabinet awarded these contracts without the proper procurement procedures being followed. President Ali must dispel reports that deals are being made at places of worships and at the Muslim Youth Organization and the Lenore Masjid and other such places. President Ali and Vice President Jagdeo should know these acts will damage them. People are upset. Vice President Jagdeo and President Ali must also know that against these backdrops, it would be shameful for them in 2025 to send the good Bishop Wanejil to get the Christian votes and Dr. Vindya Prasad for the Hindu support when they are now being sidelined. Wake up, Mr. President. Letter signed by Rajendra Prasad Jr. I don't know these people. But listen to the amount of information that points to a corrupt, wicked, and vindictive cabal awarding billions and billions of Guyanese dollars to people, according to the writer, based on religion, based on cronyism, based on the fact that these people financed maybe part or all of the 110 million US dollars which were used to lobby the international community to get rid of the Granger administration. That I put to you, and I leave you to be the judge. I leave you to mull on it while I try to get Minister of Finance Winston Jordan at this late hour to talk to us. Mr. Jordan, good morning.
Good morning, Kudaki.
I am very late because I've had a lot of technical issues, but thank God you're here. Let's talk. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday, yes. I hope you have a lot to talk.
Good.
You have a lot to talk about.
So let us start. Let me start by asking you for your reflections, your considerations, your views on the information presented in this letter by Rajendra Prasad Jr.
I'm not at all surprised. I am sure for the individual, he sounds credible, and he certainly appears persuasion. And he's speaking about a whole set of names that appear to be of the Muslim persuasion. So you have that issue that steps out at you right away, that there seems to be a clash of religions in terms of where the wealth is going. And if Mr. what is his name, Prasad or whatever his name
Yes,
is,
Rajendra Prasad Jr.
yes, if he is anyhow a reflection of the what you may call the resentment that might be brewing in the become an engineer by training with years and years and years of professional experience, and I believe also a member of the Ghana Association of Professional Engineers. Worked a long number of years at GNEC and so on. We put him in there as chairman of the board. Compare him now with the present chairman of the board, who is also the director of projects in the Ministry of Finance. So right away you can see how, and you know, this thing apart from being mentioned by Amanzo Walton and the opposition coalition immediately has not resonated with anybody in the so-called guardians of democracy or civil society or the private sector or anybody. That a person who is the director of projects in the Ministry of Finance is also the chairman of the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board. You know, it is really, really, really unfortunate that we have to stoop so low, all right, to cloud and to cloud what is essentially billions and billions of dollars in contracts that are being awarded every single year. The other thing is that projects under the coalition awards and projects and so on were published on the dashboard. They were published, so you know who were the awards. It is the coalition government that introduced this whole business of appeals. When you didn't like an award, you can appeal. It's the coalition that did it. You know, it's the coalition that started to strengthen the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board. You know, in terms of bidding and so on. So what you hearing now is, I would say, based on the 23-year experience prior to 2015, should be nothing new. We expected it, and there was a rush post August 2nd, 2020, to get back to where you were prior to 2015. As you can see, a number of the so-called measures in the 2020 budget and 2021 budget talked about pre-2015. So it's as if we were stuck in time between 2015 and 2020, that we have to go back pre-2015 and now start to play catch up. So what the guy has said, I have seen more and more letters in recent times hitting the newspapers about shenanigans that are taking place in the public procurement process. I read someone who was written consistently about the award of some big sheet piling and so forth, which he thought there's a high degree of irregularity in the sheet piling. I read a letter where somebody said the contract had been awarded even before the advertisement had hit the press and so on. But whether these things have credibility or not, the thing is that the frequency which they are now hitting the press suggests that something has gone radically wrong, and we need to press the accelerator of good governance, transparency, and accountability before this runaway train hits the next station.
All right, Mr. Jordan. Thank you for that input there. I am still hearing I don't know, people keep complaining the sound is low, the sound is low. I did ask, should I go on with the program or not? Because I have technical issues with my microphones. I don't want Mr. Jordan to be wasting his time and us thinking we're giving you information that you can't benefit from. So indicate to me, should we continue or should I stop the program here? Or should I do a one-man show? Which one? Y'all talk to me. I'm not hearing, I see people, well, listen. The sound is okay, the sound is okay, I heard every word. Continue, sir. Good. So let's go, Mr. Jordan, we're talking still.
Yeah. Okay. So that will be my take on the issue of contracts being millions and millions of dollars of contracts being awarded to a certain clique of a certain religion. And as I was saying, if this thing keeps boiling the way it is, and these letters keep hitting the press and so forth, we are going to be trending in a direction that will be fortunate when it comes to Guyana because we have never really had religious clashes in this country. We're one of the few countries in the world where all religions peacefully coexist. And if now there's a tendency to favor one religion in the context of the economic pie over other people of other religious persuasion, I am sure it will not go down well and it will not last. So let's hope um, for the sake of everyone who lives in this country that good sense will prevail, and let us assume that what has been done is done, and that we will begin to practice good governance in this country.
Thank you. Given the argument that a lot of these contracts have been awarded in contravention of the procurement law, is it possible for anyone to get them reversed by approaching the court?
Yes, yes. Yes, and if for sure that these contracts have been awarded, I don't know, without the necessary rules, procedures, transparency, and so on, then force they can approach the Public Procurement Commission, which is not enforced at the moment. In which case, then they will have to approach the court. They can also write the Auditor General. They can also bring those matters up in the as a matter of urgency under the Public Accounts Committee, and so forth. So there are a range of different subsidiary mechanisms we can use to get this matter, because the first one would have been going to the Public Procurement Commission, but that is not in that has come, that life of the last commission came to the end and a new one is not in place, so you're going to have to use other avenues. But I think also there must be a clamor. Again, as I said, this is really unfortunate what has happened together, that the voices of 217,000 people are not being heard. There must be a clamor for representation of the coalition on the boards, including the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board. In the meanwhile, I don't personally know who are the members of the board, except who's the chairman of the board, who is also the director of projects at the Ministry of Finance. I can't say I know who are the other members of the board. But there are in existence arrangements for contracts that are awarded by the board to be made public. Right? There are those instances. So if these contracts that are being given to these different names of people that have been called in that letter, if those weren't made public, then some approach to the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board should be made by some member of the opposition, some publicly made public about how these contracts were awarded, when were they advertised, who were the people that submitted bids, what were the amount of the bids, what were the conditions, and so on, to determine whether what the letter is saying is true or false. You see, I don't like necessarily go on what letters say simply because it only represents one side and may not necessarily be the right side. So until we get all the facts of the case, it will be difficult to pronounce definitively exactly what has taken place. As I said, so some people have access to Brian, they write all kinds of things in the newspapers and so on. So I think the more important thing here, now that letter has been made public, I think the best person we can use at this stage is the opposition to run with it to see as quickly as possible where they can verify the information that is being put in that letter. So that, or if they can get access to the letter writer to see whether he has actual evidence of what he's talking about, so that more can be done about the information that he's put out in the public.
Well, indeed, I'm certain that there in the area of the security awards, There must be information there because some weeks ago or months ago I spoke about the award of security contracts to Arafat in Borbis. Roshan Khan got
Right.
those in Region 4. Um, and so I didn't know what took place in Essequibo. Obviously, the cash grant which you're talking about, which was launched in Essequibo a few days ago, we know for a fact the cash grant was launched. We know the teachers union, for example, has been complaining about a sparsity of information in relation to how they intend to deal with it, its distribution and so on. Um, and these are things
But
which I
Kadaki,
believe can be
before
seen in public.
before you finish,
Uh-huh.
Kadaki, I was never even aware that a bid was put out for security for the cash grant.
Well, that's what the
In
writer
fact,
is saying. No tenders
in
were
fact,
advertised.
in fact, when we look at the COVID cash grant, I believe they used the police force. They used the police force and not private individuals. So I am not aware. I certainly haven't seen anything in any newspapers that had said that they are requiring security for the cash grant in these various areas. So this is one in particular. This is interesting that this has now come to the front, and maybe the opposition should pick this up immediately and to request all information that led to the awarding of the security contract for the cash grant. And this makes it even more troubling that you have to have how much you are paying for security for this grant versus other mechanisms such as the banks, the post office, the money agencies, and so on to use them to pay out this grant.
Or
So
using
this
the
is very,
state
very, a
security to
very
secure the
interesting turn of events.
distributors.
Sorry?
Or using the police to provide security services.
That's right, because as I said, the cash grant used the police force to as security. Now I'm sure they paid the police force some additional monies for their time and their overtime and whatnot. But I'm sure I didn't know since when the decision was made to pay out. You see, this whole cash grant story, it's a big scam. It's a whole scam, and it defeats the whole purpose of what a grant is supposed to be. And the intent of the grant and so on. The whole thing is turned out to be a scam. It was a scam in the first place because, as I remember, as I told you before, when this grant was introduced around 2014, it was for $10,000, and they had used the Western Union. I know for sure Western Union because Western Union had a branch in Water Street near to National Hardware, and there were long lines there every day for people who used to go there and line up to collect the grant. So they were using these kinds of agencies to pay out the grant. In comes 2021, and they're gone with this grant now, which they have up from 10,000 to 15,000 over the 7-year period. And now it's a big song and dance in the paying out of the grant. There's a whole long program you had put it out on your on KAMS TV, I think, during last week or earlier this week. There's a long program, a long song and dance, pledge, national song, speech desperate people, really. So the government, it's not because we care. As somebody said, um, I believe in today's paper on the other one, it's because they want to show who is boss. They want to show who is boss. And if 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 people and the naysayers who don't like cash grant because it builds some kind of, they feel that it builds some kind of dependency, the government is ensuring that those naysayers are correct. Because rather than giving a grant in a manner that suggests that we are bent to achieve some national objectives and sectoral educational objectives or whatever the case may be, it giving something and saying, listen, we giving this grant because we is the government. We is the PPP. And you know what is behind it. Okay? We're giving this grant, you vote for me for the next election. And that is your, and this grant is continuing on you voting. So it's like a down payment on you voting for us in the next election.
Like how the contracts.
A national grant will never be distributed in the manner that is being distributed at the moment. Never be distributed in the manner that is being distributed at the moment.
Like just as how they're paying down for votes, one would assume that these contracts are what should I say, deposits a campaign fund.
But listen, Kudaki, everybody expect, not only in Guyana, you see it in the Trump administration, you see it in the all different.
He lost you there.
Reward, however it comes to power, it rewards a number of people, including, of course, its supporters. You know, whether they get ambassadorship, whether they get ministers, whether they get prominent secretaries, whether they get managers here and all that, it tends to go and reward them in the way how they do, in so far that they can reward them without having to go through a process called National Procurement and Tender Administration. If Trump wants to send an ambassador to Paris, he may send his favorite person, and the only thing is that that person has to pass Congress or one of those other Congress, and if they get through there and so on, they're off and running. But when it comes to contracts and so forth, he can't award his favorite firm a contract. That contract has to go through the government processes and so on. Ultimately, his favorite company may get a contract, but it would have gone through the processes and it could stand scrutiny, and there's a government accounting office and so on, and so forth. Not so in these kinds of countries, and certainly not so in Guyana. Certainly not so in Guyana. Essentially, and let me tell you something. Those people, I know one of those persons' names was called, had horses in boat races. Had horses in boat races. He had a small horse, perhaps in the coalition, and a huge gelding or whatever you just call them, old horses in the PPP. Okay, and now it was just a matter of time if once the PPP got the government that he would be blessed with all these different contracts and resources. You know, I mean, when you you're giving out quarries, there's no ad out there that says for concession A, B, C, D are available for new quarries. Bids are invited. There are no advertisement. There's no opportunity for certain people to bid. You know, I mean, without something like if you race or anything, how many black Guyanese, African Guyanese own a quarry? How many? Can you name me one?
I know there were a number of people who came together to establish one, and they eventually were forced out of the business.
That's right, Mazzaroni Granite. A lot of black Guyanese came together, and almost all of them, if not is owned by the Portuguese. Now, if those figures are true, anywhere near true, you're suggesting that 95% of the wealth of the country are owned by two of the so-called 6 different races of this country. Where does that leave African Guyanese? Then, of course, Dr. Jagon's statement becomes a truism that we are indeed at the bottom of the ladder. And not only at the bottom of the ladder, this ladder appears to have additional rungs below the surface. And that is probably where we are. You know, I hope I quoted Eric Phillips's numbers correctly, but I was listening to the video that was carried on Kaito Radio. If that is true, that is a startling revelation in this country. Where does that leave African Guyanese when it comes to wealth in this country? You know, and this issue about the quarry is found all over in every sector of the society, every every place in the society. But I probably have veered off into something else. So back to where we were discussing.
All right. As a matter of fact, I want to veer you off the program, not willingly, but the technical difficulties. Persons are suggesting that we perhaps have you address this issue on a future program, and so I don't want you to expend too much energy. We have already we are past the 8 o'clock hour, lost some time on stand. So I want to thank you, sir, for your inputs today, and maybe I don't know if I have the permission to call you tomorrow morning should programming permit me to, and so we can continue this line of discussion. Right?
No problem.
Right. Thank you, sir. Right. So, viewers, I want to apologize. I must apologize for the technical difficulties. Let me tell you something. I know poor sound can be frustrating to you, and it certainly can be frustrating to me. But I did indicate that we were having sound issues, and as usual, out of respect, I asked if I should proceed with the program or not, and I got the impression that you wanted me to proceed, because some of you were hearing and you found out that if you use your headphones, you could have heard. I have seen persons comment that they don't like to use headphone. So, without being insultive, if you choose not to use your headphone, which can enhance the audio, why complain? Seriously, why complain? This is not a norm. We don't usually have this low sound issue. And if you are interested in what is being said, then what stops you from using your headphone? Assuming you have an interest in what is being said. Yes, somebody said, look, a lot of people complain about sound might be trolls. That too is true. But I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Right? And there's another issue which I want to address. And that is, I saw somebody telling Rhonda that she's ungrateful because they paid for her Zoom the last town hall meeting we had. Let me say this. It is uncouth. It is really, really uncouth of that individual. And that is why people generally don't accept gifts. I say it on this program ever so often. I don't ask people for anything. Rhonda didn't ask a single soul to contribute to her attending the Zoom meeting. As a matter of fact, there were several offers to pay for Rhonda's Zoom meeting. Several. Right? Several. And so I think you should apologize. Quite frankly. Everybody, I say to people all the time, everybody is entitled to their opinions. I allow your opinions in this program. I don't cuss you out and fight you down for it, even the trolls. I respond to the trolls in jest. Right? And so to do something for someone, assuming you did something for someone, and then throw it in their face as an insult, speaks volumes. Please, let's have respect for each other. That is why I believe when you do good, you don't walk around with a camera to capture those that you're helping out. Because then you're only about your own self aggrandizement. Right? You're putting people's quote unquote neediness or poverty on show to make you look like a better person. Not good. Not good at all. Don't do it to each other. And I'm repeating, that is why I generally say on this program, I don't ask people for anything. I've been encouraged and encouraged. You know how long it took before I put a Cash App handle on this program? You know how long it took before I start asking people to contribute to its upkeep? Because persons were constantly singing in my ears. Mr. Amsterdam, we know there's a cost to this program. Let us contribute. Right? And so if you can insult someone for what was it, 10 US dollars? Like that? If you give me a $50 donation, oh God, you might want my head. Y'all don't do it. Don't do it. Rwanda brings value to this program. Every one of you brings value because your opinions matter and they help to shape the content of these programs. The low volume is not Rwanda's problem. It's none of your problem. You didn't create it. It affects you. It affects you. But I am the host. I am the one who is responsible for the low volume. Cuss me out if you want. But I gave you an option. Should I proceed or not? But you agree that I should proceed, and people, up until now, people are complaining. And my volume is higher than Mr. Jordan's, and people are still complaining volume low, volume low. Check the volume of your instruments. You can help to solve the problem too. Right? Come on. Because of the technical issues, we're going to close this program early. I wish you a good day. And let me explain because I think I owe it to you. Right? Um, Yesterday we had meetings. We had a meeting in Golden Grove. You know that we've been doing these outreaches, Dr. David Hines and I, along with other executive members of the WPA, Dion Abrams and Takumo Gonsi. We've been going to communities to meet with the residents, to talk with them about their issues and to help to offer solutions and give guidance as to what can be done and so on. And remembering that weeks ago, Member of Parliament Roysdale Ford was accused and chastised for going to a meeting, I think, in Quarantine Borbis without a Laudela, without a public address system. I made it my duty. I made it my duty. I always do. Once I'm going to a public meeting and I have doubts as to whether or not they will have a public address system, I take mine and I put it in the vehicle and I go with it. Right? And so yesterday I took out my public address system. In haste, I didn't want to go and look for the cordless microphones and so on. So I just removed the one from the studio. And in my haste this morning, I didn't realize that I didn't return it to the studio. So when the program was started, then is when I recognized, oh God, I have no mic, and I had sent my son out with the car. And so when I look for the backup microphone, the corded one, I don't know why it's giving me issues. And I'm talking now, and it seems to be working on the mixer, which is not connected to the system anymore because I had to disconnect it since the microphone was not working apparently. And so we end up, like I said, having to suck Granny. And Granny never ever gives us the original quality like mother. You're not getting Mama suck Granny. It's a substitute. And so the substitute is not working perfectly. For that I apologize, but it's life. You were asked whether or not we should proceed. But people say proceed, and now you're chastising other people. Right? I feel bad about the situation. But don't beat up on other people for it. By the end of the day, I'm going to fix back the microphones in the studio. I can't promise that by the end of the day, I will take time to sort out the others. Because while I provide a service to you, and y'all take me there, so I'm going to talk. While I provide a service to you, there are things which I have to do for my own maintenance. I have a family to maintain. I have bills to pay. So people see me running here in the studio sometimes 2 minutes, 3 minutes late in the mornings. And say, Mr. Amsterdam, you're 3 minutes late. Mr. Amsterdam, 5 minutes late. Very few people know what I do before I come to the studio. At 2:30 and 3 in the morning, I'm hustling and bustling. I am usually in overdrive from about 2:30 in the morning to get here on time for the program. Nobody knew that, but I'm saying it to you now. We are continuing with the program. This is part of the program, Sean. Sometimes you have to teach people, you have to help people to appreciate the sacrifices that you make so that they benefit. Parents provide for children without crying or groaning or complaining about anything. They don't explain to children the sacrifices they make so that they can get what they get. And so children take that for granted. And so we had a set of entitled children in the home, squandering the resources and so on, taking it for granted. It's a similar situation we have here. People don't know the sacrifices that go into what we do every day. And so sometimes it's good that these things happen so you get to share with people, let them understand what your challenges are. Let them understand what it takes to deliver to them. Right, Sean? So, yes, I'm explaining what it takes to deliver. There are lots of people that I'm grateful for. They don't want their names called on this program. But there are lots of people who support me in the background. They commit to sending a contribution to the upkeep of the program. But they don't sing and dance about it. For me to say it is inadequate is being ungrateful. This program was not intended to replace my source of income. And so I have to maintain my source of income while maintaining this program. And so if you have a little difficulty here and there, come on. Yeah, give and take. I'm not the one who comes on this program and insists and beg people. Yeah, I got paid for this, I got paid for that, I got to do this to send money, this, that. No. Mm-mm. No. The little donations I get, I'm grateful for it. But for the greater part, I started this and I'm carrying this. And if I don't maintain my source of income, then I will not be able to carry it the way it is carried. I'm not insulting Gavin Matthews. I don't want to be a Gavin Matthews that has to tell anybody I will have to discontinue this program because of financial and other difficulties. No. So let's understand that. Please. It's almost 8:30. I said I'll end the program already as a result of sound issues. Do have a pleasant rest of the day. Um, Tomorrow, we are going to continue that series, what I call the emancipation lectures or whatever. Tomorrow, I want us to talk about the streams of income because I've been mentioning in the last two discourses or so the importance of having multiple streams of income. And I've been giving it some thought. Um, and the board whispered in my ears this morning that tomorrow would be a good day to start to talk about the streams of income. Note, I'm not a professional in all of these things. But thanks to my little learning and the inspiration from the ancestors, I think I am capable of encouraging you. Have a great day. I'm emotional.